What's up, my coinaholics? Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound, and today we're going to talk about one of the most important videos that I've talked about in probably quite some time, and that says a lot because I talk a lot of important information on this video, but this one is pretty big because I would think at this stage in the game, it is not too late to pick up some of these 2019 and 2020 West Point quarters. To kind of recap things, as you guys know, this was a program that just hit the ground running with lots and lots of excitement. Back in 2019, as soon as the Mint director announced that they would be doing something like this, it was all hands on deck. And when it first released in 2019 as the Lowell America, or ATB quarter, America the Beautiful quarter, people were all over the place looking for examples of these coins in rolls and boxes and bags and you name it. They were all over the place at its time. But over time, as you would expect, through 10 total releases, the program got a little bit less interesting. All right. And, go figure, 2 years since the inception of the West Point circulation rarity injection into the marketplace, things kind of died down a little bit. The overall popularity waned on this, and it's those type of coins that are absolutely white hot that all of a sudden has shaken up the market with big raw prices, in addition to a few really notable graded pieces that have closed out here on eBay in the last 30 days. You're not going to believe what I have to talk about today. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into the top 5 most well-performed coins out of the mix. It's a great list, and we're going to start out with the 5th coin. And these are all in descending order in terms of a few different factors, which I will go over with you. But we have the 2020 West Point Weir Farm America the Beautiful quarter. As you can see, the 2020s had this little V75 privy, which was a popular looking idea at the time. First circulating coin to feature a privy mark ever, and that's why these coins of 2020 have the distinction of being like a really cool chase piece. But this is the 5th one here that I would say is spec worthy, has been going up in value here recently. A lot of coins have been hitting that $15 mark pretty consistently. But this coin, and along with all the other designs of the ATB West Points, all have a low mintage of only 2 million pieces made. And that's why I firmly believe that these coins will age gracefully and they will get expensive. We're already seeing a few coins on the list that have jumped up in value in just the last 6 months, because I had done a similar video like this earlier in the year, and the market has shifted and moved in such crazy ways like you would not imagine. Things are happening a little bit too quick compared to what I originally believed that the market was moving in originally. But this is the 5th coin right here. A few little notes that I wanted to talk about, and I'll do the same with every quarter on the list. Sale prices have been falling in that $10 to $15 level. That's before you add in shipping. Pretty strong sales there. Circulated examples of the coin, if you're still able to find them, are selling in that $8 to $10 range. Nothing really fancy there, although that's probably not going to last as the market dries up for this coin. Now, here's kind of like one of those telling pieces of data about the coins. And you're going to want to pay attention to this because this is going to determine if you should hoard up on these coins. Even at $15 a coin, this is still a good coin to get. And the only coin that personally I would target are any mint state examples. Okay, so a mint state 63 and up is where I would normally target circulated examples. You know, you can buy them, but don't overpay for them, obviously. But the PCGS pop numbers tell a completely different story, where this will help identify just the noteworthy nature of these coins as far as it being a future spec. For example, the Weir Farm has one of the lowest total pop numbers of all grades combined at only 2,538 examples graded by PCGS. The top grade is only Mint State 67, and there are 30 graded at that level. So if you kind of take a look at that number, the 2,538 total pop of all the coins graded seems like a lot, but when you compare it to the very first release, the very first West Point, that Lowell National Park, that coin has around 10,000 total pop coins in the PCGS census. So, I mean, when you compare those two numbers, it's a huge difference. The next best performing coin on the list is going to be the Salt River Bay from 2020. This is another V75 Privy. Same as the Weir Farm, we're seeing strong, consistent sales of this particular coin in that $10 to $15 range for a nice kind of like mid-state grade type coin. Circulated examples are still in that $8 to $10 range. And this is the fourth coin on the list. As far as graded examples are concerned, this one is actually quite crazy. There's actually only 1,753 total graded pieces by PCGS. As you guys know, I'm only using PCGS because they did do that bounty on these coins. So more people were actually sending coins to PCGS so they could get like the first day of discovery, first week of, early find, those different types of attributions on their coin. Plus, they were also awarding that bounty as well. 1,753 total pieces graded across the board. The top pop grade is Mid-State 67, and there's only 26 examples at that grade. So this is the fourth most relevant, I would say, coin that is starting to make a lot of market movement today. The third one on the list is another 2020 West Point V75, and this time we got the Tallgrass Prairie. This coin was met with some incredibly mixed reviews for no reason whatsoever. You got to toward the end of the program, and people were starting to get tired of not only the ATB series itself, but less people were looking for their West Point quarters at this time. So late last year, people were really dialing down the search for these. Get this. This is a coin right now that is creeping up in value. We've actually seen since the beginning of the year about a 40 to 50% increase in raw prices of this coin. This is no longer that $10, $15 coin. This has jumped up to $15 to $20 for a raw mid-state example. So like a 63, 64. Circulated examples are $10 and up for this coin. In terms of the graded population figures through PCGS, there are only 1,298 examples graded through all grade levels of this particular ATB quarter. The top grade is Mid-State 68. And guess what? There's only one lone example at that level. You can almost imagine how much that coin would be worth in the marketplace. We're actually going to talk about a few realized sales in the month of July that far exceed the wildest expectations of a lot of people, keeping tabs on these coins throughout the market. Pretty incredible stuff here. And this is a coin, ladies and gentlemen, that has enjoyed the biggest jump in the last 6 months over any other ATB West Point quarter on the list, or any of the 10 for that matter. And it's another 2020. This time it's the Marsh Billings Rockefeller ATB quarter. This is another V75 Privy coin. This coin 6 months ago, like I had talked about, was in that $10 to $15 range. But boy, have things changed in a hurry. This is a coin right now on eBay. If you have these, you need to know the value of them. These have gone up over 100% in value for raw mid-state examples. These are selling for between $25 and $35 on a regular, daily, consistent basis today. Talk about a huge development in this West Point quarter market. Circulated examples have been creeping up as well. We've seen sold listings in that $10 to $15 range pretty comfortably. As far as graded examples through PCGS, wow, only 1,044 pieces have been graded by the company throughout all of the grades combined. The top grade is Mint State 67, in which only 15 are noted to exist in that top grade. This is the biggest mover out of any West Point circulating quarter to date. And you guys need to know this. This is a coin that I think, because it fell toward the end of the program, people paid less attention to these, and that's why they're being scooped up in large numbers. All right, and then no big surprise, the last coin on the list is going to be a 2019 West Point. This is the American Memorial Park. This is the coin that right out of the gate, since about, I would say last summer, has just jumped up in value, and it continues to go up. This coin right here, if you have them and they're in a nice mint state grade, you know, nothing fancy, these are consistently selling for between $35 and $53 a coin. We have seen a movement, a price increase of this particular quarter of about 20 to 25% since the month of January. Incredibly huge. And to help compound on that, ladies and gentlemen, circulated examples are falling for between $15 and $25. I think there's a lot of popularity with this coin just because it's the American Memorial Park, and it's also a one-off Northern Mariana Islands quarter. There's a lot to love about this quarter, in spite of the fact that it doesn't have that V75. This is an incredibly popular quarter. This is the most expensive, most valuable raw coin on the list right now. In terms of grading, all right, there were quite a few of these that were graded back in the day. Not quite Lowell National Park level, but 3,792 examples exist through PCGS in all grades combined. The top pop is the Mint State 67 Plus, and there are only 2 known examples at that grade level. All right, so we talked about the raw numbers and the population figure counts for my top 5 list today. What I also wanted to do was show you a few completed sales. Now, you had already seen a few of these on my most recent modern market coin report that I did a few days ago. The first one that we have here that's most notable, and boy, did this thing jump up in value. This is the 2020 West Point Tallgrass Prairie. Of course, this is a Mint State 67 through PCGS. What I also wanted to point out that is absolutely just important in this matter is that this is not one of those early find or first week of discovery attributed graded coins. This is just a regular graded Tallgrass Prairie quarter, but it is also the top pop as well. This is a Mint State 67 example that you see here, and this one sold on July 15th in the amount of $1,499.95, as you can see right here. And compared to the previous example that sold on May 10th, forget this, $631. This represents a 137% increase since that sale in May, which is just straight up plain staggering. And as you can see, this seller has sold 2 at this amount, all right, with 2 more available. Those, I'm sure, will go pretty quickly at some point. But this particular graded example has had the biggest price movement out of the 3 that I have for you today. The next one that we have here is another 2020. This time we have a Salt River Bay quarter. This one, again, does not have that early find or first week of discovery attribution on there. So this one was submitted sometime thereafter. This one right here, Mint State 67, is also part of that top pop grade collective. And this is one of 26 graded at this level, by the way. This one sold on July 15th, the same date as the previous quarter, for $1,999.95. Huge, huge coin right here. And again, it's not an early find. It's not a first week of discovery. Up to this point, the only really expensive West Point quarters that we've seen in the marketplace are the actual first discovery coins, the ones that people had sent in to receive that bounty. And now we're seeing actual top pop coins with no early designation on there that are hitting the market huge right now. And then the final one that I wanted to talk about, this is one that I talked about the other day. Actually, this is the Salt River Bay. I'm sorry. This is the actual sold listing on there. And there you go. The seller did a really great job with the photos, by the way. But the last one, no mistake, is one of the biggest movers of the this first half of the year, and that's the Marsh Billings Rockefeller. This is another 2020. This one is a mint state 67. Again, this one right here is part of the top pop. It's one of 15 graded at this level. And this one sold July 6th of this year for $2,499.95. The previous example of the same quarter in the same grade sold back June 1st in the amount of $1,699, and that represents a 47% jump in the value of this quarter in this grade. Incredibly huge gains. As you can see, just a huge amount of money realized for this quarter. And guess what? Things are not going to change. We're beginning to see a market shift. Okay, and a lot of that has to do with the overall supply. Supplies are drying up. Mint state BU quarters, where there's 40 quarters in a roll that people have assembled, are beginning to shoot up in value. We've seen these rolls sell in about the last 60 to 90 days for around $250 to $300. Now they're hitting $325 to $400 consistently for some of the more common ones like Weir Farm and all that. We're just seeing an incredible increase across the board. And I would venture to guess that as soon as like the top most popular coins that I talked about today are drying up, then you're going to see all the other ones, all the other dominoes fall in the same manner. So you're going to see, all the other ones follow suit. That Lowell National Park, you're going to see the American Samoa follow that same line as well. These coins, ladies and gentlemen, are going to increase, and they are going to increase as fast as you can imagine. Just think 12 months later on down the road, when I do another market update of these same quarters, we're going to be talking about coins that are selling for between $50 to $100 raw, and then some of those lesser tier quarters selling for like $25 to $50. That is just around the corner. The mintages are extremely low, and these are going to get swept up by every conceivable dealer and collector known to man, because there's really not a whole lot of them out there. But that's going to go ahead and do it for this one. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on these. Do you have some sort of amount that you're holding on to right now? Are you an active buyer for these quarters? If so, best of luck. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Don't forget to like, share, or subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And feel free to hit that bell for instant notifications. It sure was a lot of fun discussing the current market activity on these 2019 and 2020 West Point quarters. They're jumping up fast, and if you blink, you will miss. But that's going to go ahead and do it. Coinaholics, we are discovering together, and I wish you guys lots of luck in your hunt for sure, and I'll see you on the next video.